Hello, and thank you very much for joining me. I'm joined by Professor Zahir Amoura of the French National Reference Centre for SLE in Paris. I'm very glad to have you here with me. I was lucky to attend your session on steroids yesterday, one of the Meet the Expert sessions, which I know generated a lot of conversation and a lot of discussion. So I'm glad to be able to join you and have a bit more of that discussion today. So I think one of the main questions we were looking to answer was, in patients with lupus who are in remission, what dose of steroid would we be looking to achieve? What would we say is safe?
I think that we have enough data now to say that we should try to target 5 milligrams of prednisone in lupus patients in remission. So the main question is whether we should continue with the same drug or try to withdraw the prednisone.
And I understand that this is what led you to develop a study at your centre looking at withdrawing steroids in patients in remission. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, the first thing is that we have found that there was clearly no data of high methodological quality about the risk due to low dose of prednisone on the long term, and also about the risk of relapses when you withdraw low dose of prednisone. So we have decided to build this study, and what we have observed is that when you stop low dose of steroids, you increase by fourfold the risk of relapses during the year following the withdrawal in patients that are in remission for at least 1 year.
So you had a cohort of patients who were in remission for 1 year, and then you randomized them, I understand, from 5 milligrams a day to maintain, and the others were randomized to 5 to stop.
And the withdrawal of steroids was quite abrupt. I mean that the patients stop prednisone, then they continue hydrocortisone during 1 month, and then they stop.
And in terms of the flares that you mentioned in the patients that stopped, were we seeing severe flares of these patients?
Yes, the number of flares in the withdrawal group was 17, and 5 of these flares were severe, according to SFI or to BILAG scores.
So it sounds like in patients with stable lupus, we should be thinking about keeping on a dose of steroid that we know is safe, rather than suddenly stopping them in view of this risk of flare.
Yes, this is our main conclusion, but I would like to set up the context of our study. Most of the patients were treated with hydroxychloroquine. A quarter of these patients had immunosuppressant, and they had also a low damage score at baseline. And we haven't patients under biologics, so maybe it's not the same for these patients.
Fantastic. So I think one of the things I took away from that is I'll definitely think about my practice very differently. So thank you very much for that excellent session, and I'm sure lots of people will be thinking similar things. So thank you very much for speaking with me.